Well, hello and hello, everyone. I am so excited to see you today. We are back again with another episode of The Spotlight. And we are very excited about what's happening this year coming up. Oh my gosh, we've got a bunch of people lined up for you. Some changes, some sames. We are going forward only on Thursdays, live on Facebook, also live on YouTube, and live to my website at www.gaylenicholson.com/stream. So if you were watching, please give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share, invite your friends to watch, maybe tag a few people, because today is a very important episode. There are a lot of people who are in that period of their military career when they may be considering transitioning out, or what their future would hold after transitioning out. Or maybe, you've already taken that step and you've got your orders, you're discharging, and what comes next? Well, I'm so excited I can't even talk. I get to introduce you to Mr. Brandon Harris, who is a transitional coach helping military personnel get on their feet when it comes to getting out of the lifestyle of the military and entering into a new phase of civilian life. So thank you so much for being here with me today, Brandon. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for the introduction.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things that I'm really excited about is that you have started this new beta program, right? For helping military personnel transition into civilian life. And I want to talk to you about that. Should we start with that, or should we, just get to know you a little bit first?
This is your show. Whatever you want to do, I'm ready for it. So,
All right, awesome. Well, then let's begin with a little bit of your background. What branch of service did you serve in, and what's your short form of your career overall?
sure. I was in the Marine Corps for about 10 years. I've been out now, off of active duty now for just over 2 years.
Hmm.
Was in the oil field for a while up until the pandemic. Been in the independent contracting space, roofing specifically, um, and decided that I want to have more impact in the world and do more with my life, and that's what kind of brought me to this. So,
Fantastic. Now, when you got out, how long ago was that again?
it's been a little over 2 years,
Okay.
and then I did about a year in the reserves here in Texas, but uh, fairly
Okay.
recent still.
Awesome. So, how was that transition for you personally?
Pretty rough to be honest. It's had its ups and downs. I can say that this year finally I've spent a lot of time with my family. Um, Probably like many of the audience watching had a lot more time home probably this year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been rough. Lots of ups and downs, lots of failures, lots of um, stressful times. When I was in the oil field, I was making good money as a field engineer. I did
Mm-hmm.
that for almost a year and a half, but I was in Midland, and so I came home for 2 or 3 days at a time every 2 weeks and was traveling back and forth. Um, I was miserable at the company that I was with, and just not at a very happy place in my life, although I was making good money. Um, and then I got laid off out of nowhere. So I look back now, and it was a blessing in disguise. I needed to get out of there, um, but it was kind of a shock, and I had just bought our new house here in Houston, so kind of bad timing. But yeah, so ever since I've just been grinding and financially it's been rough with a family and whatnot, but the last year I've just been dedicating all of my time into just creating something more for me and my family's future, and it's finally taking or getting some traction, and it's exciting, it's addicting, it's a great feeling. um, I feel
Addicting
like I
how? What do you mean by that?
when you gain momentum, it's like a superpower. I don't know how to explain it really, other than the fact that once you get things going, you feel like you don't have enough hours in the day to get things done,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good thing in a sense because you're just plugging away, um, kind of zoned in and focused. And I feel like that's been me over the last couple of months, I guess the last month or two specifically. And it feels good. You feel like you can't get enough done in the day, but that's really a good thing. So just got to
Awesome.
take it one step at a time. But yeah, it's great.
Fantastic. Now, I want to ask you specifically, most people, when they go into coaching, they find it easiest to help people much like themselves, that they've gone through an experience that they can help other people go through. And that definitely sounds like you as well. But for this new beta program that you've put together, what kind of person are you specifically looking for to be able to help with the program that you've just put together?
That's a great question. Um, People that are in within about a year or so from EAS or exiting active duty, and then those that may have already transitioned, like myself, um, but are still fairly fresh in the transition phase. I mean, that could go on for a while, so maybe up to 10 years or so. Uh, and really just people that are hungry for success and growth in their life. You know, not just for themselves, but it's got to be a good fit for me too. And I've got to know that I'm going to be able to help somebody. So, and that is usually clarified through a discovery call that I have with the beginning of any potential client that I think I may have an opportunity to work with. So that's really who I'm looking for to work with.
Okay, great. So anybody who's recently transitioned out or you're getting ready to transition out, um, excellent, excellent stuff. Now, also, give me an idea of some of the situations that just about any military personnel will have to deal with when they're transitioning out. That as much as the military may try to set you up like here's your transition guide and here's what to expect next, it's all kind of theoretical, isn't it? I mean, the fact of the matter is that personnel lose their community when they transition out, right? And there's kind of a loss of direction, which, by the way, one of the great things about your name, North Star, finding direction again, finding your mission, your purpose. Um, what is it that you can help support veterans with that they just won't get from the military community?
If they are looking, again, it doesn't matter if they've done a few years in the military or if they had, a full career and they are receiving a pension and starting over. Um, as most of the people that are listening know, you can do a full 20 years and be completely retired, and you can only be 40 years old still and have lots of life left, able to work, pursue your dreams in business, excuse me, whatever it is. So, no matter where you're at in that scale and how long you were in for, there's a lot of common similarities that these folks go through whenever they do exit the military. And um, direction is one of the major things that they struggle with, which leads to other negative things like depression and anxiety and things of that nature. So um, I really try to focus on people that are needing that support structure, but also need some clarity and someone lending a hand out to guide them in the right direction as far as figuring out, the stuff that they're good at, the stuff that they enjoy doing, and how they can piece all that together and implement it to serve others and live a life of happiness and wealth. So
Nice, nice. I have a few friends that are in the military arena, if you will, and one of them comes to mind that was he he was a mechanic that loaded firepower onto airplanes or something like that. And he's like, when I left, there's no job like that in the civilian sector. You have all of these skills and all of these niche training that you may be one of 5 people in the entire world that know how to do, and those skills don't necessarily transfer over.
translate, yeah,
Right. So I really love the fact that you're coming in there and helping people find what they can do that will translate over, because there's an awful lot of leadership and if you want to call it soft skills that can
yes,
translate very well into civilian life in a leadership position, that just people just need a little bit of help with, and somebody literally hand on shoulder pointing, there you go, look at that,
absolutely.
right?
And some people like myself, they get out and they did a specific job for so long, and that they just don't have any interest anymore in doing the same thing in the private sector. So maybe they want to go a different route, or feel that that wasn't their niche or their strong point.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
mhm.
that's awesome. So now, what can clients expect working with you, or even this specific beta program? What can people who participate in it expect to experience in it?
uh, well, they will have a support structure. We do weekly group Zoom calls with all the individuals that are participating in the program, so they won't be alone. I will be essentially moderating and directing the calls, but really the call is for them to utilize that support system, um, share their small wins, big wins, no matter what it is, their goals for the week, and also so that they are able to be accountability partners, hold each other accountable, and help each other with things that they need going through that process. Um, and they've got the resources through the private Facebook group that they'll be set up with, that I'll have on their weekly content, and they also have a couple of consultation calls with myself um, throughout. Them using this transition guide
Mm-hmm.
right here, actually.
Oh,
So they'll
awesome.
they'll be using this as they go through the month to guide them and use the actionable steps and processes and stuff that's in this program to help them through in between calls and the Facebook group and such. So
Awesome, awesome, fantastic. Now, with this program that you're releasing right away, that when do you intend to have that full and start? And as I understand it, it's going to be like a very small group, correct? How many people are you
yeah, it's
looking for this program?
um, I'm looking at probably four four individuals for this program. So it's not going to be for everybody. It's a free full month program. I would like to think that the value is packed in there, and so there's a lot of value that I'm giving out, and it's a lot of my time. So I want to be able to ensure that I'm focusing on these individuals 100% and getting them to where they want to go. what they can expect with working with me is 100% honesty. I don't like to sugarcoat things, but I'm also compassionate. I'll hold them accountable, and they'll have personalized advice throughout the month. Um, they've got the I have their best interest in mind, and it's a great program. Anybody that is able to hop on this at the end of this interview, actually, I'll give out a code word. So whoever puts in the comments first, I'll select one individual before I release this to the public next week. So you'll have the opportunity to get your foot in the door first. So that opportunity is there for anyone that might feel like they're in that phase and could use the help. So
Awesome.
yeah.
And I want to also mention to people, you can, whether you use the code word to get into this beta or not, you can use Brandon's email at northstarcoachinghtx@gmail.com to reach out and connect with him. Maybe get into the beta program, maybe get some one-on-one support until, with other types of coaching that he offers. Either way, reach out through email and connect with Brandon, because I can see that there's going to be, I'm not even on the screen here. I can see that there's going to be quite a bit of growth that's going to happen really quickly with this, and I'm all for it. I love the idea of this program in place, because there's one thing that I find I care about more than nothing more than I should, but more than it would be expected from me, and that is the lack of life expectancy in the military community. When people come out of all of that structure and don't have a community to step into that can help them find a new footing in a new world, as a superpowered human being, they tend to go directionless and to not feel like anybody cares about them. And when you have no mission, no purpose, and no one cares about you, what's the point? And we want to keep as many people as possible from ever feeling that.
That's exactly right. And I actually cover that pretty extensively in the course, and talk about the sense of identity. The identity in the uniform doesn't define you. You take those experiences that you had in the service and apply them to the private sector. But I think it's pretty remarkable, actually. There's a study that came out recently, and it says that 5 years on active duty military equates to, I believe it was 21 years in the corporate world, as far as mentally and physically draining.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty incredible.
That's amazing. Yeah, that is really amazing, because I've been in the corporate world and it's life sucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, tell me a little bit about, what you're up to other than this. What's going on down in Texas right now? Because we're kind of, I'm not sure if we're moving out of the coronavirus stuff or not anymore. But what's life going on in Texas?
It's not quite as bad here in terms of the coronavirus as some other states. For some reason, Texas, they don't seem to care as much. Personally, I think that's a good thing. But the weather's been good here. It's been a little hectic for me. We just had our third girl less than a month ago, about a little over 3 weeks ago now. So
congratulations.
Just been getting in sleep where I can and focusing on this. Yeah, I've got a big event actually tonight that I'm going to down in Houston. So looking forward to that. yeah, just been trying to stay focused and spending time with the family while I'm able to, and enjoying life. So
That's awesome. That's good to hear. That's very good to hear. All right, well, Brandon, I really want to thank you. And I want to take a moment and actually connect and acknowledge you. Because as I mentioned before, one of the biggest and saddest problems that we're facing right now is the high rate of veteran suicide. And just in chatting with people in the veteran community that I'm attached to, I mean, I'm not even a veteran, but I'm attached to a lot of them. And the biggest problem that we see is that they're just some people are just done with the military and feel like they're completely shut out of everything that has ever given them a reason for being. And when they lose that reason for being, there's so much negative that can come out of that, um, just on so many levels before you even get to a person giving up on their own life. So I
yeah,
want to acknowledge you for being one of those people that has had the courage to stand up and say, no, I'm going to do something that can offer a different path. I'm going to do something that's going to create community outside of the military. I'm going to create something that will give people fulfillment and satisfaction. And I am 100% here for it. Whatever you need, let me know, because we need more people like you right now.
thank you. Yeah, I think it's a huge thing for service members. They feel lost when they get out and they don't have that community anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing that I focus a lot on in my coaching. It's in the program as well, but I've got resources and kind of tell them how to go about getting out in the community, either locally or online.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of organizations out there that are veteran focused, and they're doing good things in the community. There's Team Rubicon, who does disaster stuff. They build houses and do what is it, disaster relief or weather.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the word that I'm trying to go
Natural,
for,
yeah,
but
natural disasters
there
and
you go.
stuff, yeah.
Natural disasters. They do a lot of stuff with that. Um, you've got the Bunker Labs community, who's very veteran, entrepreneurial focused.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot of resources and a lot of opportunities out there, and it's just unfortunate that most veterans, when they get out, uh, they just don't know about them. And if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
um, yeah, I want to get that information out there more and teach people how to go about getting back into the flow of feeling a part of something and self development and getting in a better headspace mentally. Um, I was in that spot just a year to a year and a half ago
Mm-hmm.
of feeling like I was on the bottom floor, living out of my truck. Um, just had this feeling of I'm gonna just drive and go away,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a crappy feeling, but there's so much out there, and if you're listening, just reach out to me. There's people that don't want to see you go down that path and that can help you and that have been there. Um, I'm one of them people. So
Excellent.
there's hope. There's hope. There's always a solution. So
Fantastic. Again, I want to give everybody your email address. That's North Star Coaching HTX for Houston, Texas at gmail.com. Reach out to Brandon, connect over email, and then go from there. There is absolutely no need for you to be alone. There's communities available, and you can get out on the ground floor one right now.
there you go.
Right? Awesome. Brandon, do you have any final thoughts for our audience before we send them off on their way today?
thank everyone for listening. I just want to provide value where I can and help. And whoever's still listening, if you comment, I'm in, I will reach out to you and we can set up a call and see if you'd be a good fit for the program. And I will save one of those spots for you if we feel like you'd be a good fit. So
fantastic.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure. And thank you so much for being here and for doing what you do. Have a fantastic week.
You as well.
Thanks. When you open yourself up to actual energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.